Good, let's start. I think whoever's joining can join late, that doesn't matter. Welcome. Tonight we'll do a 60-minute flow. I think it's a slow flow, we won't take it too hard. If you guys want to stay seated, you can do that if that feels nice to you. If you want to come with me, you can come into a supine pose, bringing your feet approximately hip width distance, so meaning if you feel your heel on the floor, it sort of aligns with those seat bones, and then we'll bring our upper body down, but the knees, they stay in line with the hips, so they don't fall in against each other. It's what we call a constructive resting pose. And it gives you these perfectly aligned and deep connections to the floor. So see if you can get really heavy through your feet, really heavy through the hips, the shoulder blades, in the back of the head. You can, if you want to, you can use the feet to move yourself sort of in a vertical line up and down. So using the feet to push yourself more up towards the top end of the mat and pull towards the end of the mat. It's a very gentle sort of shaking of your being. I don't know, I always think of these games, we used to have them when I lived in the States as a little child, where you would draw something into the pins or the sand, and then you could shake it and everything falls back into place. And that's exactly what we want here. So it's this gentle sort of shaking of all parts into their right place. And closing your eyes, of course, taking some very deep breaths from your chest into the rib cage, down into the belly, and reversing belly, rib cage, chest. I know we do these a lot and they seem after a while just, yes, it's just that yogic breath, but see if you can really compartmentalize the breath, so that you really three-part the breath. 3 counts inhale into your chest, 3 counts inhale into your rib cage, and 3 counts into your belly. Heiniko. And exhale the same thing. Tonight's theme is along the lines of the April theme, the idea of radical experiencing, of radical experimenting. And the emphasis is on radical. So see whether tonight we can find the place of radical joy. That seems a weird theme maybe for a slow flow, but it is the silence or the more quiet movements that we want to explore. Where in your body does joy manifest? And for now I want to invite you to think of a memory or even a fantasy or a dream, a goal that manifests physical joy in your body, or as you think in your brain, but then see if you can find a sensation of radical physical joy somewhere, whether it locates somewhere in your somatic form. And then you can keep the eyes closed. keep that intention, that sensation of joy throughout the class. See if you can find it all over again. Maybe it shifts in different poses, maybe it dwindles when you don't pay attention. And now we'll go into something called pelvis tilts. You can't see my belly, my ribs so much. I'm purposely wearing a onesie so you can't see my full belly because I just had dinner. But for the pelvic tilt, we'll pull the pubic bone here, so the highest bone in this triangle of hip bones and your pubic bone, we'll pull it towards the navel, and that flattens our lower back to the spine. Some of you have done this with me before, so you know how this feels, what this is. And see if you can very consciously come into those tilts. So tilting posteriorly, so flattening the lower back down, and anteriorly by pushing the tail end of the spine into the floor, and we get this nice lift between the floor and your lower back. And the only thing that's moving is your pelvis. So it's this tilt. We'll do it later when we're standing, and then we can picture a bowl of water. So it is a gentle moving forth and back of your pelvis, engaging of the core when you're in your posterior tilt, and a gentle arch in the back if you're in your anterior tilt. Good. And then we'll stay in the middle ground of those two. So find sort of that neutral center in between, not fully pushing the lower back down, not arching it away, but this very natural curve with an engagement in the core. We'll lengthen the left leg out and we'll bring the right leg in. We'll hug the knee into the chest. See that you can stay stable with the hips, that they don't fall out of line. Good. And then with the exhale, we'll bring the forehead towards the knee, curling, rounding, hollowing the front body. Good. Inhale, release somewhat, bring the back of the head down. Exhale, curl, coil, bring the knee, the forehead together. Inhale, one more open. Exhale, curl, coil, bring it together. Good. And then we'll lengthen the right leg up to the sky, back of the head comes back down. And we'll grab that right leg with the left hand on the shin or on the just outside the knee, and we'll guide it across the body. If you have the room, if you need to bend the knee, that's also fine. For a gentle twist here. Keep the left hip in place. Good. And inhale, we'll come back up. Good. And then we'll take the right knee with the right hand and we'll guide it into circles here. So drawing circles outward, coming back in. See what your pelvis does here. See if you can see it stable, if you can stabilize it with a gentle activation of the core. Change the directions of your circles. Good. And then we'll change the side. Let the right leg get long, left leg comes in towards your nose, hug it in first, stabilizing core, stabilizing the pelvis, and exhale, curl, bring the forehead into the knee. Inhale, release everything down, keep the knee bent, exhale, knee or forehead to knee. And back of the head comes down, last one. Curling, coiling, hollowing the front body. And release. Lengthen the left leg out. Good, and bring the right hand outside the left leg and bring it across the body. Ideally, keep it long. If it doesn't touch down, it's also fine. We just want to lengthen out here. Good. And inhale, bring it back in. Change the hand, left hand on the knee, draw circles of the femur in the hip socket. So kind of stirring, like you're stirring in a pot. You're maneuvering that femur back into its place. Change directions. Good. And then let the left leg get long. Good. Bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet together so the knees fold outward. And the arms come over the head. Come into Kali Mudra, so interlace the fingers. Only the index finger is long and together, joining the other one. Bring the arms over the head. And with the exhale, we bring the arms towards the feet. The head follows and will curl, coil up. Ideally, the feet stay where they are. Reach towards the feet. And we'll come halfway back down. If you can, bring the arms back over the head. The head doesn't come to the mat. Exhale. Arms reach towards the feet. Reach forward, coil. One more. Bring half of the back down. Arms reach over the head. And with the next one, we come up to seated. Good. Very nice. Cool. From here, we'll come into a, what is it called? Agni Stambhasana. So we'll stack the shins on top of each other. We won't stay here very long, don't worry, but see if you can, if one knee floats, that's perfectly fine. I think the music is a bit loud, sorry. If the one knee floats, you can just bring a block underneath. Good, and we'll walk our hands forward. Maybe only stay on the hands, maybe even your forearms come down. Good. A gentle elongation into the glutes. And then we'll walk the hands back up. Take your top leg and swing it back, so we'll land in a pigeon. Okay, you can bring a pillow or a folded blanket for underneath your left buttocks. In my case, the left, you might be on the other side, it doesn't matter. Good, bring the arms up, overhead, lengthen up. Good. Sink into the heaviness of the seat bones. Front foot is flexed, good. Draw the lower ribs in and together. Back foot stays in place. Exhale, hands come down in front of you. Tuck the back toes. Good. And we'll lift the back knee off the floor and step the left foot to meet the right, or the front foot to meet the right. High plank. Good. One line from heels to hips to shoulders. Roll the shoulder blades away from each other. And with the exhale, we'll bring the knees to the floor. We'll sit back onto the heels. Keep the toes tucked though, look forward. Good. And with the exhale, we'll cat forward, reach into your hands, gaze goes into the navel. And shift the weight so far forward until your hips come down, look forward, arch the chest coming into a cobra. You can bend the elbows here if it's too much for your back. Good. Tucking the toes if they're not still tucked, and push back into a child's pose. Good. Exhale again, curl, coil, look into the navel, shift the weight forward, forward, forward until the hips come down, and then you can look forward, belt the elbows, coming to a cobra. Good. Tucking the toes, shift back, keeping the tailbone towards the ceiling. And exhale, let's go again. Now you know the sequence, you know the movement. Let it become a bit more embodied, a bit more a part of you. Exhale, push it back onto the heels, last one. Sending the tailbone down to the floor in cat pose. Chest through the arms, pull the hands towards your body in cobra. And exhale, push it back onto the heels. Good, and then we'll come into all fours. We'll cross the legs and sit back down, second side. So whichever leg you had on top before, change sides. So I have my right one on top, I'll bring my left one on top, this time into our Agni Stambhasana, our fire lock pose. Good. Settle in, make sure that you're not in a cross-legged seat, meaning our shins are really in line with the mat line in front of us. And then we'll walk the hands forward, keep your back long as you can, and then fold. Good. Relocate that sensation of just a radical joy. Just before this class, I did some finances, I looked at my expenses and income, and I realized that my flight to Kuwait and back to Catania is going to completely ruin whatever I earn in my time at Floripa. And I figured, why even go if I don't make money? But then I remembered, and you could walk yourself back up by this time, and you could swing the top leg back to come into Earth Pigeon on the other side. Bring something under the glutes here to even out your hips. And when you're ready, you can lift the hands away, bring them over your head, follow them with your gaze. Keep it gentle but active pressure between the hands. I remembered that I love being at Floripa, and I love teaching yoga, and that, of course, money is important, but that I do this not really because of the money, which comes with its own challenges, don't get me wrong. Exhale, bring the hands down in front of you on the mat, tuck the back toes. And we'll lift the back knee away and step the right foot to meet the left, high plank. Shift everything up, create that space, that loftiness between you and the mat. And exhale, shoot it forward, knees down, sit back onto the heels. Tuck the toes, active child's pose. Nice. And then from here, keeping the toes tucked, we'll just shift the hips up, let the knees float, coming to our first downward facing dog. Nice. You can do in your dog what you need to do, be it to have it bouncing, to have it pedaling, to have the hips sway, all in the endeavor to lengthen back body, lengthen the hamstrings, lengthen the lower back, shoulders, side body. Good. From here we'll look forward, step left foot, right foot towards the hands, coming into a half forward fold. Bring your hands onto the shins for now, so you can really find this L shape. Lower ribs draw in. So I know that we prefer the front body, and we will shift everything into the front body usually. We'll use our quads, we'll use our front body, so now we'll collapse forward to find this length in the lower back. But I ask you now to bring just a gentle inward draw of your navel towards the spine, lower ribs towards each other. Exhale, we'll fold. Bring the hands to the back of the legs, so to the calves, having them come towards your heels as you fold into Uttanasana. Arms in, elbows in next to the lower legs. Inhale, come into Ardha Uttanasana, hands onto the shins, lengthen. Use that pressure on the shins to really find that length. Exhale, fold it forward, hands to the heels, top of the head down. One more round, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Good. And with the next Ardha Uttanasana, that's our middle stop to come into standing, so you can bend the knees, come up with long back. Exhale, hands to the hips. We'll come into another round of our pelvis tilts. So if you are standing here, you will likely have a gentle anterior tilt, meaning you have a lower back curve here. See if you can bring the pubic bone in towards your navel. Send that tail end down towards the floor. Imagine your pelvis being a bowl of water, and you're sort of tipping it forth and back without the water spilling. but the water flows forward as we anterior tilt and flows backwards as we posterior tilt. You can go into the extremes here, stay steady with weight distribution on both feet, but find that absolute maximum of tilts you can do. Really crunch your front body and extend the tailbone back as you come into your posterior tilt. Anterior. Good. And then again, find that neutral position in between, which gives you a lot of strength from the core, from where out everything radiates. Good. Let's flow through a Surya Namaskar, bring the arms high. Exhale, fold it forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Hands on the shins or on the floor. Good. Exhale, step the right foot back, far back. Right knee comes down to the floor. Good. We'll use our pelvic floor as the baseline, heavy. It pulls down, but from there you lift up through the upper body, bring the arms up over the head. Exhale, bring them out into those nice cactus arms. And we'll draw the shoulders together, opening up here. Exhale, arms come up and forward, lengthen them out. Inhale, draw the arms together and back. Exhale, bring them up and forward. Good. And one more, shoulders come together, sink low into the hips. Arms come up and forward, and that's our cue to lift the back knee away, tuck the back toes, come up into a high lunge. Good. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. And then we'll come halfway forward, bring the left arm inside the left foot or onto the left thigh, and the right heel comes down to the floor, right arm over the head. Good. Sink low into those hips. Optional to bring the right arm over the head to reach towards the front of the mat. And from there, windmill the hand down, bring the left hand to meet the right. Good. And we'll come into a lizard. So come onto your forearms here if it's available. If not, you can bring a block or you can stay on the hands. So a block can be underneath your forearms. Keep the back leg lifted if possible. Kick the back heel back. Good, and then we'll bring the right arm more inwards and the left arm goes high into a twisted lizard. Keep the left knee drawing in towards your chest, so don't let it fall out. Good. And exhale, bring it back down. Step your left foot to meet the right. Come back onto the hands to do so. High plank. Good. We'll flow through the same vinyasa variation as we've done before. So we'll come down onto the knees, sit back onto the heels, look forward. One wave, so exhale for cat pose. Shifting forward, hips come down, look forward. Good. Tuck the toes, shift it back. And we'll come back into a downward dog. Good. This time the right foot steps forward, next to the right thumb, second side, left knee comes down. Good. Use the pelvic floor to lift up. Arms come high. Exhale into goddess arms or cactus arms. Good. With the next exhale, we'll send them up and forward, lengthen them into the fingertips. Inhale, bring them back in together like you want to chant something between your shoulder blades. Exhale, up and forward. Inhale, bring them in together. Good. Exhale, up and forward. This time we'll use to sink into the hips. And then we tuck the back toes, and with the next time the arms come up, our knee also comes up. Very nice. And from there we'll bring right arm down and either inside the right foot or onto the thigh. Left heel pivots out and the left arm swings over the head. Reach it high. Let the gaze follow. Option to bring the arm even longer over the head. One line from your left fingers to the left edge of the foot. Good.
Pivoting the right ribs underneath the left. Exhale, bring the left hand down, right hand also down, lizard pose. Settle in first, and from there, forearms. Block or no block. Good. Keep the right knee drawing in, left heel pushing back. And then the left arm swings in gently. The right arm comes high for a twist here. Yes. You can bring the back knee down if this is too much. That makes it a lot more easy. Good. And exhale. Bring the right hand also down. Come back onto both hands. Good. And we'll step the left foot to meet the left hand outside the left hand. And we'll find into Malasana Yogi squat. Come down, elbows in, side the knees. Good. Use the pressure again between the hands to transfer out into the knees. So whatever you generate here generates out into the knees and gifts you this lift. Gifts you. It's nice. It gifts you this lift. Not gifts you. Gifts you. It's nicer. This lift into the spine. Good. And from here we'll see if we can release the hands and bring them over the head. Keep the knees where they are. It's easier, harder than it looks. Very good. Exhale, bring the hands down. And we'll lift the hips up. Pivot the heels back together. Heel toe feet back together. For Uttanasana, forward fold. Hands can again come behind your shins or behind your calves. Inhale for a halfway lift, bring the hands forward. Nice. And from there we'll come back up into standing. Exhale, hands to heart. Find again this neutral pelvis tilt. Good, and we'll flow again, we'll add some poses. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, we'll sink into a chair pose. Very nice. Chair pose. And you can bring the arms also into cactus pose here. Draw the shoulders down and together. Inhale, bring them over the head. Bring them down and together. And over the head. Last round. Draw them. Inhale, lengthen. Good. And then we'll come into a toe stand. So bring the hands to heart. And we'll sink down and lift the heels out, coming to tippy toes. Hips come to the heels and the knees shoot forward and down so that the thighs become parallel to the floor. Good. See if you can balance here. Good stuff, ladies. Amazing. Very good job. Nice. And then we'll tilt the knees into the chest, hands come forward, and we'll step it back into a high plank. Good. High plank, lift, and we'll rotate from the belly button down. Bring the heels over to the right side. Only the heels, the top of the body stays the same, weight is the same. Inhale, heels back to the middle. Exhale, heels out to the left. Good. One more, heels over to the right. Keep lifting into the shoulder blades, over to the left. Very good. And middle. Bring the knees down, sink down onto the heels, look forward, uplift child's pose. Exhale, coil, curl, cat pose. Until your hips meet the ground. And maybe this time you can stay in a higher cobra. So bring a gentle bend into your arms. Or maybe you still need more bending because your back is not ready or it's just not there. Totally fine. Tuck the toes, push it back, and come back into all fours and downward dog. Good. Very nice. From here, inhale your right leg high. Internal rotation of the leg. Exhale, bring the right knee to the nose. Float it forward. Push the shoulder blades away. Good. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, we'll float it forward again and step the right foot next to the right thumb. Left knee comes down. We'll come back into our low lunge, up with the arms. Exhale, cactus. Good. Inhale, 1 to lengthen out. Exhale, draw them together. Tuck the back toes, and with the next one, we'll shoot up with the leg also. Very nice. See if you can find a 45-degree angle with the upper body. It's a lot more on the core. And then exhale, right hand comes in or right elbow, left heel pivots down. Find that side angle pose. Good. Very nice. From here, we'll swing the upper arm back. Left arm comes up to the back leg. And we'll lengthen the front leg and bring the right arm over the head to open the right side body. Good. Let the front body open without collapsing forward. So chest open, shoulder blades move together, and we'll come back into side angle. So right arm back onto the thigh or inside the leg, left arm over the head. Let's go again. Exhale, left hand comes back, front leg lengthens, right arm over the head. Good. Exhale, back into side angle. Maybe hand on the floor. Let's go again. Left arm comes back, front leg lengthens. Good. And then we'll stay here. Good. And we'll bring the right arm to the front shin, left arm over the head. And we'll bring the left arm also to reach to the front of the mat. Good. Trikonasana. Triangle pose. See whether you can bring the right hand also parallel to the left. Using the side body here to strengthen, to lengthen, to hold. I know it's hard. Very good. Exhale. Bring both leg hands down, bend into the front knee, and we'll come back into our lizard pose. Good. Forearms or not, knee down or not, up to you. Good, and then bring the right arm high. Good, twisting into our lizard pose. Okay. Very nice. And then bring the right arm back down, bring the back knee down, and we'll come onto our hands. We'll bend into the back knee and reach the right arm around. See if we can reach that left foot. Twisting. Yes, Sunny, good. Amazing. If you need more lift, bring a block or something underneath your left hand. So you have more space to twist and reach. That will give you that extra bit of space. Good work, girls. Amazing. And exhale, release the back foot. We'll tuck the back toes. And we'll come back up into a warrior two. So windmill, the arms open. Good. Very good. And then from there, we'll pivot the arms high, come onto the back toes for a high lunge. Exhale, twist, bring the left arm outside the right leg for a simple twist. Very nice. And then from here, we'll come right into a star pose. So bring the back heel back down, open the arms up, both toes point to the long edge of the mat. Good. And exhale, bring the hands to hips and fold it forward for Prasarita Padottanasana. Wide-legged forward fold. Hands in line with the feet. Good. Inhale, come back up. Start pose. And then we'll pivot to the back side of the mat. And we'll do the same. So bring the right foot, left foot point back. Right foot to point also to the back of the mat. Good. And exhale, find that high lunge, hands to heart. And pivot over to the left side. Bring the right elbow outside the left leg. Good. Very nice. And inhale, open both arms up high. Exhale, back heel down, left hand towards the left leg. I'm mirroring you, so I'm getting confused. Nice. Trikonasana on the back side. Hand can come over the head. Let the left arm join the right arm. Parallel it out. Good. Yes. Very nice. And exhale, let everything drop. We're coming back into our Prasarita Padottanasana. So both toes point to the front and long end of the mat. Walk the hands in line with the feet. You can pivot the hands around so the fingers point back, lowering yourself deeper. Good. And inhale, halfway lift, bring the hands to the hips. Upper body is parallel to the floor. Good. And bring the arms out into a cactus pose. Parallel to the floor. Lower ribs, belly draws in. Good. And exhale, come down with the hands, walk to the front foot, and we'll step the front foot to meet the back foot. Good. Very nice. High plank, one lift. Exhale, bring the knees down, sit back onto the heels. Active child's pose. With the next exhale, we'll pivot, curl forward into a cat pose until the hips come down. High or low cobra. Good. Elbows come into the body, shoulder blades roll together. Send the chest forward and through. This is the back bend, not the lower back. Relax the glutes, tuck the toes, and we'll sit back onto the heels to transition from here into a downward dog. Good. Second side. Left leg lifts, floats. Internal rotation, let the knee and the pinky toe point down to the mat. And don't forget the joy. Exhale, bring the knee to nose, curl around. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to nose, curl around, push the floor away. And the last one, no big whoop, just floating it up. Don't strain. Doesn't have to look a certain way. Don't let it cut off your breath. Bring the left foot inside the left hand. Right knee comes down. The beautiful low lunge. Sink the hips. Arm up with the arms. Exhale. Cactus. Good. Really draw them together like you're getting momentum to shoot the arms up and forward. Good. Exhale. Like you're loading your body with power to shoot. To express that joy. Good. And with this time, tuck the back toes and we'll lift the back knee away from the floor. Good. And from there, find that high lunge, 45-degree angle. Good. And then we'll bring the left arm inside the left leg, right arm comes high, back foot pivots down, or on the thigh, perfectly fine. Good. But bring the right arm over the head to reach forward, long line. Take a moment here to find joy. Where is it in your body? Has it shifted? What does it feel like in terms of sensation? Radically joyful. Inhale, bring your right arm back along the right leg. Left arm comes over the head, front leg gets long. Good. Everything's lengthened out. Kneecaps pull towards your hips. Exhale, bring the left arm back down, right arm over the head. Good. See that you can have very little weight on that left elbow. Lengthen out again. Right arm floats back, left arm over the head. Exhale, right arm over the head. Good. And the last one, bring it back, long, left arm over the head. Only to get momentum to shoot forward. Keep the right hip sending it back, and left arm comes down over onto the left shin. Good. Right arm comes over the head. Nice. And let the left arm get parallel to the right. Yes. Beautiful. And then drop everything down, bend the front knee, come into our lizard pose. Good. Yogi's choice, forearms or not, knee or not. You can bring the knee down, it's perfectly effective. Also, right arm comes in, left arm comes high for our twist. Good. And exhale, bring it down. Both hands inside, tuck the back toes, pivot the back heel down, and we'll come up into a warrior two. Swinging the arms open. See that they're parallel to the floor. You can have some dynamism in here. They don't have to be static, okay? We're not Iyengar yoga. Sorry. Inhale, both arms over the head. Pivot the back heel forward or back toes forward. Exhale, hands to heart and twist over to the left side. Right arm outside the left leg. Good. Simple twist or twisted high lunge. And from here we'll open into our star pose. So inhale up, bring everything out and open. Reach into all six limbs, tail, head, arms, legs, hands to hips, and fold it in for a Prasarita Padottanasana. And now see whether your feet pointing outwards or toes away from each other might just have the strain on your knees. So see that you can bring the feet parallel if this is the case, or even toes pointing in towards each other. Good. Find that deepest fold. I'll give you some time here to wiggle yourself into this expression of folded joy. I love forward folds, to be honest. I feel super, I don't know, just like this little my space here, my own space between me and my legs. Good, and then inhale, we'll come back up into our star pose. And we'll pivot everything back to the end of the mat. So bring the arms high, both feet pivot back, bend into the front knee, we'll come into our high lunge. Good, exhale, hands to heart, twist left arm outside the right leg. Good. These twists, they can grow on you, believe me. They can start to feel nice, even though they might not right now. Inhale, high lunge again. Good. Exhale, bring the back heel down, right hand inside the front foot. Oops, losing my hair. Gear. Good. And we'll lengthen the front leg out, right hand to the right shin. Left arm over the head. And you can let the right arm join if you like. Float them parallel to each other. And exhale, swing everything down, coming back into our Prasarita Padottanasana. Wide-legged forward fold. You can shift hips right and left if this helps the constriction that's coming from tension. If there's a constriction that comes from compression, where bone meets bone or physical meets physical, that's literally the end of it. So we need to work around by maybe pivoting the legs more open, finding a wider stance, maybe heels further apart. To distinguish between compression and tension is in itself an embodiment practice. These two can feel very similar. Inhale for a halfway lift. Good, and bring the arms out to the side, find back into our cactus arms. Bring the lower belly in, draw it into the navel. Strong core. Nice. And then we'll bring the right arm down to the floor, left arm high for a twist. Good. And inhale back into our cactus arms. They're the perfect wandering point for these twists. Left arm shoots down, right arm high. Keep the hips in place. Shift them back wherever you found them. Nice. And inhale back into our cactus arms. Good. Exhale, bring the hands down, wander to the front foot, pivoting everything back forward. And then we'll step the left foot to meet the right. Good. Very good. And we'll pivot the heels again. Bring both heels out to the left. And out to the right. Inhale back into the middle. Exhale out to the left. And out to the right. Good. And from here we'll bring both knees down. Good. Finding into a tabletop position. Nice. Lengthen the back leg out, the right leg out. Bring the right sole of the foot down, left leg pivots out. Good. And bring the right arm high to this kneeling side plank. But we won't stay here, we'll come into Parigrasana. So like we've done before, bring the right arm over the head, reach it to the right leg and left arm follows. And reaches over the head for gate pose. Good. Keep that humerus connected into the shoulder joint. Left arm is long. Good. You can let the right arm join into this hovering. And inhale, come up all the way, reach long. Find that pelvis tilt again. Send the tail end down to the floor. And with the exhale, we'll bring the hands out in front of us. So we're in this kneeling on our side plank thing. Left arm comes high, twist as we've done before. And with the exhale, we're threaded underneath the right shoulder. And we'll reach for the right big toe. You can bring the left shoulder down, right arm needs to come out of the way, but use it here as a kickstand. The right outer edge of the foot here is pushing into the mat. Good. If you want, you can bring the right arm behind the lower back for a deeper twisting sensation. Good. Push the outside of the edge down. Very nice. And release the arm behind the back. Bring it next to your chest again, the right hand. We'll use that to lift ourselves out. Left arm pivots high again to counteract. Good. And exhale, bring it down. Good. From there, we'll just wander the hands back forward and bring both knees back in line. Both knees back down to the floor. Good. Tabletop. Very nice. We'll just find into an Anahatasana from here for a bit of a chest opening, a heart melting. Let the hands slide forward. Good. Chin or forehead down. Exhale to really just melt the chest to the floor. With the next exhale, we'll coil the back. We'll stay where we are with the forehead or chin, but we'll round the back. Stay with the hands. Good. Inhale, sink, melt the chest. Exhale, round, curl. Look in towards the navel. Look forward. Exhale, coil. So it's like an undulating Anahatasana. Nice. And then from here, wander the arms back parallel. Good. Lift up, so you can bring the lower arms down. And then we'll let the hips sink. We'll come into a Sphinx pose. Nice. Wiggle the hips into place. We'll lift the right leg up, just a few centimeters, and pivot the inseam of the thigh towards the ceiling. So the little toe comes towards the floor. And then you'll bring the foot back down with the little toe first, and then the rest. Good. And we'll do the same with the other leg. Left leg lifts. Give it that little bit of an internal rotation, that twist. And then bring the pinky toe down to the mat first. It's really hard, I know. And use the hands here to magnetize you down and isometrically pull them towards your hips so your chest floats through. Let the shoulders melt away from the ears. Nice. And exhale, release, bring everything down. Tuck the hands, tuck the toes, we'll push back up into our all four, second side, left leg gets long. And pivot the left heel down, it comes to the floor with the entire sole, right leg pivots outside the right edge of the mat. And then the left arm comes high. Good. Settle in here, finding that grounding, especially knowing what's to come. And again, check in with your pelvis here. So often, again, we'll find that hollow back, we'll send the belly forward, and we'll fall into that lower back. See, if you just send that tail end more towards the left heel now, bringing the pubic bone in towards the navel, you'll find this source of strength and that alignment. Good. From here, we'll lift left arm towards the left leg, let the right arm follow over the head. Good. Again, outside edge of the left foot is digging into the mat. Reach into the right hips and check in with the tailbone. Imagine you have a feathered tail that keeps pointing down to the floor now. And inhale, bring everything up, long. Align head, sternum, pubic bone. And exhale, hands out in front of you. Good. If you need something under the knee, by all means, please do. And then we'll bring the right arm high. Opening the body open to the right. Exhale, thread underneath the left arm, reaching for the left toe. Maybe you can even grab it with the index and middle finger. The left hand has to move out of the way a bit. Use it next to your head as a kickstand, or you can thread the left arm behind the lower back. Good. Opening shoulder, left shoulder draws back. Bring those shoulder blades together. Good work. And release the left arm if you have it there. Bring it left next to the face. Use it as a lift up to bring the right arm back up to the ceiling. Nice. And exhale, right hand down. And we'll walk everything back forward. So bring everything back in line. Hands come back where you found them, all fours. Beautiful. We'll find back into our Anahatasana, let the arms slide forward. This time we'll stay steady, we'll find stillness. If your chest is already on the floor because you have a super spaghetti back, you can bring the fingertips of your hands like little tents onto the edges of the mat and sink through the arms with a bit more space. If the chin on the floor, by the way, gives you an ache in the neck, like me, bring the forehead down. It's not worth hurting your neck, just because Anahatasana says so. Good. And then lift gently out, walk the hands parallel, and bring the lower arms down. Nice. And then we'll shift the hips forward, sink them down, find back into our Sphinx pose. Good. Magnetize the palms, the lower arms towards you, chest comes through. Optional to bend the knees here. Bring the head towards the knees, the feet towards the head. Nice. And exhale, release. Bring the chest down to the floor. Stack the hands if you want to rest the forehead down. And you can wiggle the hips right and left to sort of, like we did at the start, to shake everything back into place. Maybe call back to memory that reminder of joy. And from that place where you embody it, see if you can let it spread through your entire physical and energetic being. Nice. And then we'll bring the forehead fully down to the mat. Bring the right arm out to the side. Left hand next to the chest. Good. And we'll pivot open. I'll do the other side so you guys can see. We'll pivot open. Good. And bend the left knee and bring the left foot behind the right thigh. Good. From here you can walk the right leg back more forward, more outside the mat. You can stay here, or you can bring the left knee down and reach for the right foot, left foot with your right hand. So from the top, you look like you're in King Dancer. And your left arm walks forward in counter pose to your left leg. So you're being pulled into all directions. Good. Beautiful twist. Let your body melt into it. Let the joy radically spread into every single cell. How joy feels. If your muscle memory, if your cell memory can remember that, the articulation becomes much more accessible. And let go of the foot if you hold on to it. And bring the left knee back where you found it, next to the right one. Bring the left hand back in next to the chest. Lengthen the legs out and we'll pivot onto our bellies again. Maybe stack the hands again, realign before we do the second side. Good. This time bring the left arm out to the side. Right hand next to the chest, and we'll pivot onto our left side. Good. Take the same variation you've done before, yogi's choice. Either right foot behind the left knee and just stay there. Bring that left leg more forward. Or you can let the knees join, so flatten the legs back together and reach for the right foot with your left hand. I'll show it on the other side. No. Let yourself be pulled into all 6 limbs. Good. And release. Slowly let go of the foot. Bring the left leg in, stack the right one on top. Right hand comes next to the chest again and pivot onto your belly. Good. Bring the hands right left of chest. We'll push back into a seat onto our heels. Bring the hands over the thighs. Closing the eyes, keep them closed. The last time you're upright in this class, see if you can find back into that connection from crown of the head, sternum, center of your pelvis, tailbone pointing towards the floor. Good, and then you can swing the legs forward. Good, we'll come lying on our backs. And because it feels so nice in the nighttime, we'll come into a plow pose, halasana. If that doesn't feel nice to you because of constriction in your throat, you can just come into a snail pose, meaning you can bring a pillow underneath your lower back. Nice and comfy, bring the legs up and hug the thighs in towards you. And then you can adjust the pillow here to come higher if you need it. This is equally fine. If you want to come into halasana with me, we'll come first into a shoulder stand. So bring the hands behind the hips, lift up. Chin to chest, remember, chin to chest. Weight on the upper arms and elbows and shoulders. And then from here we'll bring the feet over our head, behind the head, big toes tipping down or floating. Yes, good. Let it malleate, let it happen. Give it time to. Option to interlace the hands behind the back, push into the toes, heels back. If it feels like that to you, you can frame the ears with your knees or stay in halasana. Nice gentle inversion. But should this really not feel good in your throat, in the organs within your throat, don't do it. Good. And then you can slowly unwind, come back out. If there's any last pose you want to take, you can do that, or you can come into final resting pose, Shavasana. Wherever you found that sensation of joy, let it spiral out into all of the 6 limbs. If you have no location, use your navel to follow the currents of evolution into all 6 limbs, head, tail, legs, and arms. If you want to stay longer in Javasana, you can do so. If you're ready to come into seated, take your time, find your own way. Be gentle with your body rather than following habits that we do things fast and quick and arrive where we're meant to be fast. See if you can slow down the journey, make it more of an experience, a radical experience. And when you're seated, you can bring your hands to your heart. Sink again into your seat bones, into the heaviness. Embrace that heaviness. It's a gift. Speak your grace and gratitude for these teachings of yoga we get to share. And then you can rub your hands together to create warmth. And you can bring it wherever you need the warmth to be on your body, be it in your face, on your heart, on your kidneys, wherever you need it to be. And then bring your hands to your forehead. We'll bow for peace. May our prayers for peace be heard. Jai Ma. Thank you, girls, so much.